Battle control initialized.
Hey there, people. It's hot in here again on another game between MrMavel on the bottom left and Insurrection at the top right. It's gonna be an allies mirror. MrMavel going for Germany, whereas we still have Insurrection playing with France. I'm not gonna guess again, but it's just gonna be defense, I believe. He wanna try it out the defense France and defense combination for policies. But we have to skip out time that's being spent here, so pretty standard. Taking the oils, the only difference here, both of them are going for Wharf. Interesting. So the first thing that came out from MrMavel is another harvester, so that he can sustain a bit for the economy. Whereas Insurrection values having a scout unit and potentially pick up some of the rifle infantry that's placed in the various locations. So they're doing the same right now, Marvel and Insurrection. So they're trying to poke potential spotters in the route that he's going for. But obviously, this one is just to scout out the whole base. I think Insurrection is feel pretty complete with the route he did there. But we will see how MrMavel will be reacting to this. He sees the pillbox. He doesn't care. He just goes through the entire thing. Insurrection tries to throw in a medium tank in this direction, but it's not in position to intercept that one. So he pulls out another classic move from him, which is like a few infantry and an engineer. It'd be interesting if he uses the engineer to make entrenchment. So for anyone who's not aware, in Combined Arms, France has the ability to do entrenchment, which allows their engineer to deploy and provide a build radius around the engineer. But the only thing you could build from them are defenses. So one of the things you could do, I'd say I was pretty notable with it. I did play it this tactic a few times. Is when you have like this, you see that there's harvesters here. You'll most likely know there's harvesters there. So you place an engineer here, deploy, and then place a turret right here. Yeah, somewhere right here. So what that does is the turret here will deny all forms of Tiberium harvesting here. So in which case, MrMavel would have to deal with that. Otherwise, if he doesn't, then this tip field here will be out of commission, and most likely both, because for your harvester, like let's say here, it's still taking Tiberium, but when this entire field here is empty, it will be going through here, right? So he would have to constantly look at his main base. If he doesn't deal with that problem there, if there's a turret here, so he has to deal with that. And if you don't, this thing here, the harvester that was collecting here, will go over here. So if you prefer to leave it alone and do extra micro on your harvester just to keep it safe, just keep sending it back here, or maybe send it away somewhere else. That's really up to you. But you should deal with that. So that's one of the tactics you could do as France. Have one engineer inside an APC, or maybe a Chinook if you do have an airfield, and then scout through, and then place it like there. That's one. Few other tactics I do have with France is I'm not sure if I should say it, but you know, who cares if you wanna play it like that? It's really up to you. But you could do spawn camping on a barracks or war factory. So for barracks, do it like this. Let's say there's no pillbox here. Place your engineer, deploy over here, and then place a turret right here. place a pillbox. So anyone that spawns out of this barracks here will die. They will not be able to do anything. And we see a longbow, triple longbow by Insurrection. Oh no, the micro's messing up. He loses one longbow, but he managed to take down 3 tanks from MrMavel. So this interaction here should be for Insurrection's win. MrMavel has no tank, he has no rifles, and therefore he lost way too much value right there compared to how much that one single longbow cost. So going back here, you use one pillbox for a barracks if you want to spawn camp that one. The only tanky infantry I'd say that will not die to a pillbox would be a Yuri Brute, a allied enforcers, and perhaps cyborgs. Cyborgs you need two volleys from a pillbox, so it's not really a big deal. Heavy cyborgs on the other hand, you need turret for that one. As for war factories, you may need 2 turrets to, deal a considerable damage against it. One is okay. If it's like this, okay. So if you have a building queued up like to this direction, what it does is it will move towards this direction. So that's what's that doing right there. So if you place one turret here, any vehicle that comes out of there will be moving until the player themselves would order that, hey, you should not do that, pull back. Otherwise, it's a free kill. So we are right now, I've been busy talking about France tactics. I see Insurrection values his longbows pretty well. He placed a service depot here and made 2 helipads. I would say you should sell this one in order to conserve, I guess, power. You could leave it, but the problem with that is sometimes some of your aircraft will go over there, and it will not repair itself because there's no service depot in that location. So see this circle? I'm not sure in ORA. Never really played it. I've just watched it. So this circle here indicates any helipads, or let's say if you're playing Scrin, gravity stabilizers, they will receive any landed aircraft that are rearming will receive repairs as well. There's really a weird interaction with it, I'd say. I think the repairs would depend, or it will depend if how long your unit is rearming. So let's say you have 1 HP in your aircraft and then you try to rearm it. It took 1 second rearm. It will not fully repair. That's what I've noticed sometimes. I might be wrong, but anyone can correct me on that one. So pay attention to your aircrafts on that one. So this is how an engineer looks like when it is entrenched. So you see this radius? This is the build radius you have for the defenses. You place any defenses, and even your allies can do that. So France is also a team faction. So one of the tactics I used to do with some of the pro players is I have an engineer here, and then I was paired with a nod guy, and he just placed an obelisk. So it was really dirty. So far, nothing much is going on. Let's have this triac 33% faster. Another thing about France is they have the ability to do cluster mines, which is they drop 6 mines on an area. Usually one of the best things you could do about it is place it on top of Tiberiums or tib fields so that you can deny any harvesters from harvesting that location. It takes 3 mines to kill 1 harvester. So in theory, if your enemy does not make an engineer to disarm the mines, all 6 of them should be able to kill 2 harvesters. Other than that, you can place it somewhere else. And I'd say if you place it somewhere else, like let's say this one, you know, where is it going? Okay, interesting. Anyway, yeah, I think that's what happened. So here, let's say you know there's a troop here. You have a mine over here. You say, okay, let's do a cluster mines over here. Compared to having it on top of a tip field, if you place it somewhere else in the battlefield, your opponent will most likely forget about it later. So it's a good thing you can do that. Right now we have Insurrection in tier 3. He is making Harriers. So longbows are the anti-vehicle, anti-defense aircraft, whereas we have the Harrier for allies, which is the anti-infantry and anti-structure. So you use them accordingly. Don't use longbows against infantry. Don't use longbows against Tanya. Not a good choice. We see here Insurrection going around trying to pick off Harvester or two. I would say you need to get you have 4. Okay, so aircraft lesson, guys. Aircraft lesson. Any anti heavy armor aircraft, you need a value of 4,500 to kill off 1 Harvester. So that means you need 3 longbows, 3 MiGs, and if you're screen, you need 5 Tormentors because Tormentors cost 900. The cool thing about allies though is when you research cryo warheads, the longbows also benefit from that. So for Harvesters, in order for you to kill it like very efficiently, you need 2. So it came from 3, it becomes 2. But if you do two longbows, you need to time it very well because you would rely on the chill damage from the cryo warheads. However, if you don't care, like you just want to do it in one salvo, make 4 longbows with cryo warheads. You kill one and then you kill the second. It's very efficient. Going here. So we see Marvel pushing in. Unfortunately, he has not scouted this area right here. So he had no vision, he had no information what's going on over here, what's over there. So it was pretty sad. So this is what I meant about earlier. You could use cluster mines in order to deny Harvesters. Unfortunately, it was not a good thing done by MrMavel there. The lack of information, you were not up to a good start. And we see a tank destroy being down. The rest of the vehicles are being repaired by the friendly repair IVs. Seems that he's trying to sustain his army. Going full vehicle mode here. And he is going around. I don't think Insurrection saw it. You had an oil derrick here. Yeah, his movement here suggests that he did not see it. You had an oil refiner here, an oil derrick. You should have seen those vehicles passing through this direction. And an interaction between the two. Not really a good micro. Marvel doesn't have anything to fight against infantry. All of his equipments are for anti-tank. So unfortunately, not really a good trade right there. The only thing Insurrection lost there was 1 engineer and probably a few vehicles. Ah, no, never mind. I think it was a really bad trade. Because if I'm not wrong, I did not hear it also. He had a full APC, had like 4 infantry and 1 engineer. So I think it's not the best. He lost something of value. Well, most definitely Marvel lost a lot. Yeah, they're pretty much trying out new stuff here for allies. New infantry, that would be, if I'm not wrong, Marvel is playing, yeah, South Korea. So he chose South Korea in order to try out the Dragon Guards. So Dragon Guards is an elite infantry with a long-range rocket launcher. So if your Dragon Guard is right here, the target will be like right here. That's how far the range it could go. It has a 12C range. No, it's a custom unit. And then pretty much nothing else is going on here. They're just trying things out. And here comes the Battle Fortress for Insurrection. This troop here is not doing anything. This troop here is not doing anything. But if they were meant to fight, I would say this has the higher value and it shall win. And they are now facing against each other? Was that... I'm not sure whose support power that was. Okay, I think that was Insurrections. Yeah, it is Insurrections. Yep. I'm just pointing it out because it's kind of important. Like you keep note on how on when an allies player had their spy satellite go online. So I'm going in with my statement that most likely Insurrection will win this. Yep, partially because of the good micro he's been showing in this aircraft. Good use of the Harriers. Sometimes I see players, they use Harriers against vehicles. Not really the best. So it goes down the army here from MrMavel. Seen only 2 mines have been used. Not much is being played on this side. If anything, Marvel needs another harvester for this. So looking at the money, we see Insurrection has way too much money. Way too much money he could make, he could use or he could spend. So this barracks is not producing anything. You should make anything from that. As for your wharf, you could have it make another barracks or vehicles. You decide. So the good thing for Marvel, he chose South Korea, which provides you the Black Eagle, the air superiority fighter. So the great thing about the Black Eagles is that they have, along with Phantoms, like a nod stolen unit. I think Phantoms is allied stolen tech, if I'm not wrong. So both Phantoms and Black Eagles, they now have a priority against aircraft. So like if you attack move, like here, let's say there's an aircraft here, there is Harriers here. You select your Black Eagles, attack move right here, it will prioritize aircraft over the ground forces. So similar thing for that is like we have commandos, we have Tanya, we have Boris. They will always prioritize infantry over the other ground targets. Another example for that we have here are the tank destroyers. Tank destroyers, they will prioritize going against or attacking vehicles compared to attacking defenses or infantry. So the way it does is, let's say these two are fighting, right? And then, or let's say Boris can target vehicles. So just imagine this is Boris, this is not Tanya, and then these two armies collide, right? They fight. And you notice your Boris is not killing any more infantry. So you have to reset your commando or your Boris or Tanya's targeting. Holy crap, the damage. You have to reset the targeting by just issuing a stop order. Ooh, you're paying attention. Yep, and oh, Tanya's dead. Okay, this could go either way. I think Marvel's gonna win this. Tanya is firing everything she got. That's all you got? And there it goes. All of the infantry from Insurrection is now dead. And therefore, she gets sniped by a Harrier. Overall, I'd say Marvel got the victory over there. Sadly, this Grand Cannon is not any closer. It was not here. And the Dragon Guards are doing really, really big work around here. Firing from a very, very safe distance. They actually have... I forgot... No, yeah, I think I'm correct. They actually have a... Like, similar to tank destroyers, they have priority against vehicles. Oh my god, the micro god from Insurrection is so good. I haven't seen anyone care for their for their ammo like that one. And we just seen a harvester going down because of the cluster mines we've witnessed like 4 minutes ago. And good play by Marvel to force fire the Prism Tower on top of a suspected mine. However, there's no more mines here, so it should be okay. So we see Insurrection again placing the same thing on top of this tip tree. As of now, there's no harvester taking from this tip tree, so Insurrection Marvel is kind of safe for now. But when he does harvest from this, he has to pay attention that this happened earlier, that the cluster mine has dropped there. So I don't know if he uses some of his Harriers to kill it. He's using the scout tanks. Not the best, but okay. Peacemaker, even better. Good. Very good. Oh my god. We see a battalion of Battle Fortress. Very, very, very slow. So, to expound on the Battle Fortress, the last thing France enjoys, like in comparison to other faction, Battle Fortress, you can put in 5 infantry, and then they shoot from the gun ports. Now remember, infantry, they cannot shoot if they're walking, and if you hit them, they will prone. Once they prone, they have like 50% less speed, so they take more time to get to their destination before they can shoot. If you have Battle Fortress, that problem will be bye-bye, because you just load them into the Battle Fortress, and then the infantry inside the Battle Fortress can shoot on the move. So that's one of the key features you would have to take note using Battle Fortress or going against Battle Fortress. It makes infantry better, but at the same time, you have to be careful, ensure that they don't die. We see a support power from Germany, which is the Temporal Incursion, provides 5 vehicles. You decide where they go or where they spawn. It's similar to like other factions' paradrop, or let's say Soviet paradrop. So instead of having infantry, you get vehicles. But the key feature here, the 5 vehicles, they are usually randomized. I do know you get like one tank there, maybe 1 tank destroyer, sometimes no tank destroyers, but at all times there will be a artillery there. So if you're very okay, how do you say this? Like, if you care for your building so much, go for the artillery first. That's the only big problem you have there. So here comes another fight. Unfortunately, the tanks are not too close to the front right now. They just position themselves closer. So like this, the Battle Fortress will just move in and then just attack. It doesn't seem to be a good time for Marvel because he's being outgunned and outrun on both sides, both here and here. Longbows are doing the work against the Chrono Prison, and we do see Peacemaker being made, but unfortunately there's just way too many vehicles for 1 or 2 Peacemaker to handle. So on the right side, Marvel pretty much lost. He has nothing else to defend, and there comes the Black Sky Strike! That is another support power from the South Koreans. You can select 4 targets in a radius, and then they will die once the precision strike comes in. they it automatically targets over those that are very very pricey. So let's say if you have a commando there, you have Tanya, it will be targeted over the other infantry, other vehicles they have there. So we see the push of the battle fortress and the bombing runs from the peacemakers. One battle fortress down, one tank down, and we see the micro from Marvel taking down all the vehicles. If Marvel can pull this off, if anything, if he wants to pull this off, if he wants to survive, it is to make use of his aircraft and do micros. Otherwise, he has no vehicles, he has no ground infantry, ground units to deal with this problem right now. There's a lot of air traffic here. He's not sure which ones to use right away. There's a lot of Harriers running around, flying around in circles, not really doing anything. Use the Harriers and destroy this, or maybe use the longbows. Longbows are out of ammo, and there goes that one war factory for Marvel. The reason why I'm pointing this out, because he has 7k in the bank. If he does not make anything else, he will keep on floating. Therefore, it was pretty imperative that he keeps that war factory up. Otherwise, right now, he has a barracks ready. He is not placing it right now. There goes the barracks. He is now making another rifle infantry. And the aircraft is still not receiving information, not receiving any orders to kill off the troops right here from Insurrection. Sad, sad day from few of the buildings. But fortunately for Marvel, the damage was not enough. He only lost a barracks here and a war factory. If anything, he has to recover. And sadly, for Marvel over here, he has lost his last harvester. So he would need to make another refinery to replenish. We see that Insurrection is ahead. 10k in value. You have a lot of aircraft right here. You could deal with this without any problem. I'm very sure the ground forces are like, where are our air support? We need them right now. Air support running in. Boom. And there goes. The Black Eagles are doing a lot of work against the heavy buildings. And there's a lightning storm. He's placing it on top of an MCV. Bombing run from the Peacemaker up to no good. This MCV will be down. Or not. What? I think he did not. I think he did not center. Okay, so the thing with the support powers we have here, all of the support powers can one-shot the MCVs and the war factories as long as you place it in the center. I think that's what happened here. So that lightning storm from Insurrection was not really the best, I'd say. Could have been better. Right now we have a lot of aircraft from Insurrection. He's still not doing it. And in terms of money, he has 4k in the bank. And that troops right there is gone. So we have a lot of Harriers right here. You could use them to poke the defenses or poke the bases here, but I don't think it's gonna be something you can do. There's like a heavy anti-air presence over here. You can't go there. And even here is pretty much covered. If he does go over here and then over through the back, it will be impossible to go back alive because there's 7 Harriers ready to intercept any form of attack on the sides. So we have a Peacemaker coming in. I think he's trying to bomb this. No, that is not the best. That would not be the best aircraft for anti-building, but it suffices. However, if you do notice, each Peacemaker costs 2,500, whereas the Harrier costs 2k. If I'm not wrong, you just need 3 Harriers to destroy any support power, any super weapon. So he used 10k instead of using 6k. Again, Marvel is not really efficient with his aircraft. Okay, so the thing with aircraft in this game, you have to be very careful in using them. If you're not confident in microing, your aircraft, don't do them at all. Or if you have an option to use aircraft, just use the ones that actually stand in place on one spot. At least you don't have to worry like this, where it keeps running around in circles, flying around in circles. So if you're a new player playing combined arms, it's better stick to ground fight, stick to vehicles and infantry. So we have here a fight between Insurrection and Marvel again. However, I don't think it's a good time for Marvel because he tried to push in, and there's a very, very big fortification here with the use of grand cannons. But somehow he managed to survive. Oh, wait. Yeah, kind of managed to survive because he has what's it called? I forgot. I keep forgetting what's it called. Time warp. There's a time warp there. He used it on top of like a lot of cryo trooper and a few vehicles. Unfortunately, he doesn't win that. I'd say Insurrection's been showing how you excuse me. Insurrection has been very, very good with the air micro he's played earlier. Unfortunately for MrMavel, if he had used a bit more of his aircraft, he could have swung a lot of the fights to his side. Especially since the aircraft are you're being pushed in, right? Like your airfields, your helipads are closer compared to, like, let's say here with Insurrection, he has his over here. Like everything here is way too far. So what I'm saying is, if the fight is right here and you're MrMavel here, you just have to attack right there and then they just go here. Whereas if you're Insurrection, you have to go a long way. So that means long distance. Longer distance means longer time you need to rearm. Well, of course, it makes... of course, you don't... Like the rearm... excuse me. Like the rearm you do when your aircraft lands in a helipad is the same. But the distance is also a big factor. So we are seeing some sort of movement for the aircraft. Tanya right there, putting in C4s. However, I think it's gonna she's gonna die, and like that, she is down for the count. I do have a feeling it's gonna be GG after this fight. Marvel has nothing. Well, he has a lot of things here. If he have used it, it would have been better. So I might as well mention about it right now, since like I believe we're approaching the near end of the game. 86, so there's like 40%. I think they're gonna be talking after the fight. So Chrono Prison, because it's right here. Chrono Prison has the same rate of disappearing infantry and vehicles, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe it relies on the value or anything. But just take note that Chrono Prison, you should use them to eliminate vehicles, because as I said, it's the same rate. Vehicles or infantry is the same rate, but it's not worth it using them against infantry. So it's like Apocalypse tanks for Soviet. Like Apocalypse tanks is really good versus vehicles, but you are using Apocalypse tanks against infantry, you will lose the Apocalypse tanks because there's just way too many infantry you have to deal with. And the reload time is too slow. It's the same thing here with Chrono Prison. The time it needs to vanquish one unit is taking a lot. So I guess it's gonna be a GG soon. He is eliminating the mechanic for some reason. Not much is gonna be going on here. I'd say it's still the same. Just using Chrono Prison, positioning. So sometimes in moments like this, if you do have a vision on top of your enemy, better try to poke out somewhere else, like vehicles, infantry you have here, place them here or go here, and then have another detachment like around here just ready to push in. Have be sure to have vision on that. Like, let's say there's a troop here, there's an army detachment here that you want to divert, that you want to bring over to another location. Just have vision there. Or like if you're very like if you're a good player, like you could guess where, that'd be good. You know, that's a good tactic you could play for any faction, of course. Like, it doesn't have to be ally specific, Soviet specific. GTI nod or screen can be played by anyone else. So we just rolling in. I don't think there's anything interesting gonna happen anytime soon. We still keep seeing these aircraft here worth 24 grand flying around, not much. So this is pretty much a slow death on MrMavel here. This is like the Ottoman Empire. Not sure. Okay, so let's see here if he does kill it. I think he used it for the vehicles. Or no, for the infantry or the army. Yeah. Same thing. MCV did not die because it wasn't centered. And this is pretty much a sad day for Marvel's infantry, for Marvel's troops. And there goes the Peacemaker. They've been made peace. Their lives right there, going down without precaution. So one final thing to note to say. Yep, and there's a GG. So one final thing to say: if you notice that your enemy has way too many aircraft, do yourselves a favor and build an anti-air. For allies, that will be an IFV. It doesn't matter if it's a regular IFV or if you place a rocket inside it. The only thing that changes if you place a rocket inside it is that your IFV, as long as you research the cryo warheads, those IFVs will be shooting off cryo warheads. Otherwise, regular IFVs will not shoot cryo warheads. So that's an extra cost to having better anti-air. So that is pretty much it for this Let's Learn session between Insurrection and MrMavel. I think this is the first time Insurrection won, if I'm not wrong, against Marvel. He's been trying. Yeah, he's been trying. So that's two wins for Marvel and 1 win for Insurrection. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Battle control terminated.